I like that apron.
Thank you.
Yeah, hot tamales here.
My daughter made it.
That's quite the combination, the stripes and that apron.
Well, you know, I want to stop a truck. So
That's camo in some environment, but I couldn't tell you where.
that's true. I'm not sure.
Brazil, maybe.
Mm-hmm.
In Rio de Janeiro.
I like it.
Kathy, too bad you can't see it. It's got chilies all over it.
I know. I'm sorry I can't see it.
Anyway, so welcome to our Healthy Game Zoom call for St. Patrick's Day. So this is
Oh, now I have green on. I'm glad I put this apron on.
I know the grandkids came over and pinched us. So, well.
Forgot about that.
Anyway, great to have everybody on, and let's get our show on the road. So our topic of discussion this week of our healthy habit that we want to talk about is sleep. And a lot of you guys are trying to get 7 hours of sleep. And some of us, that was very foreign to before these challenges. So anybody want to share what a difference it is, what you've noticed if you do get 7 hours of sleep as opposed to going for less? Come on.
Well, you definitely feel better, that's for sure.
Yeah.
And you know, if you go to bed early enough, I think you feel a lot better when you get up too, rather than draggy.
Very true. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a huge thing. I think that I have spent most of my adult life in sleep deprivation. And
me too.
So many times I don't know how you can do it differently, you know, to raise children and to have a busy life, you know. At least that's how I spent so many years thinking. But I am sure that if I would have been wiser and made myself, you know, prepared a way to sleep longer, I would have been more productive during my waking hours. Because I went through so much of a cloud in my mind, and in fact was dangerous driving. That's awful. That's another subject altogether. So yeah, the sleep's huge.
Yeah. Welcome, Barb. So we're just talking about sleep and the difference making getting 7 hours and what it makes in our life. And I was just thinking, for me, I love waking up in the morning after 7 hours and not have my first thought be, I am going to take a nap today sometime.
Yeah.
Now I don't have to think that because I feel happy.
Yeah, big difference.
How about you, Anthony?
Yeah, I was listening to a seminar thing that Take Shape for Life put out, the company, and one of the coaches said that they used to take naps every afternoon. So tired, you know. And then healthy eating coupled with this good sleep really helped out. So I'm starting to see that too. It's good. More stamina.
And the water goes in there hand in hand, interestingly.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
All the habits fit in together. So, Peggy, how about you? Anything you want to say about sleep?
I do notice that I feel more basically awake when I get at least 7 hours of sleep. I have to be careful because I'm a night owl, and so I don't get enough sleep during the week. And so then I oversleep sometimes on the weekends, and then I feel draggy too.
Isn't it funny how it can go both ways? That's really crazy. Good.
So I'm forcing myself to get up at a normal time on Saturday and Sunday so that I don't feel draggy on the weekends.
That's good.
You want to be like those normal people. That's scary.
You can ask Larry. I'll never be normal.
Okay, you're committed to that. Good.
Yes.
How about you, Anna, Larry, Barb? What do you think about sleeping?
I like sleeping.
Do you get enough is the question. Or too much?
Generally I do pretty good. I'm still trying to get over that wanting to sleep in on weekends. I tend to sleep until I wake up on Saturday rather than getting up at a specific time. But I wake up about 7:30 anyway. But I usually lay in bed and enjoy myself. That's my quiet time.
That's your mindfulness, exactly.
That's the story I'll tell. That's my quiet time. So
I like it.
That's great. How about you, Barb? Or do you do pretty well with your 7 hours at night?
Oh, it depends on the dogs.
Oh, yeah, she's got a house full of dogs. Well, 2 anyway.
They get to keep me out.
That's great. Anna, are you good with your 7 hours?
Usually I am, but this last week I've been really struggling, and I don't know if this was already mentioned or not. I just joined, but I know one thing that I have trouble with is my electronics. If I don't put those away at least an hour before I want to be in bed, then I get distracted with those. I find myself, I'll just check my email real fast. I'll just check Facebook just real quick. And then an hour later, I'm still on there and think, oh my goodness, it's already 9 o'clock. I have to go to bed. Please be quiet. So I think that's, sorry. I think that's one thing that I'm working on is just putting the electronics away well in advance before I try to get to bed.
Good idea.
Interesting.
Yeah, the electronics. What else did they say about the
Oh,
electronics?
that it overstimulates, and I don't remember all of the words that we read about that, but it's very true.
it's the blue light.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, because I'll put it down after I'm done. I realize, it's 9 o'clock, and then just sit there awake for a long time because my brain's just running. So
I really I keep a few things to the side of my bed to read, and I love to just fall asleep with a book. That's quite a different thing than falling asleep with electronics.
That's great. Well, so another thing that we thought would be fun to talk about tonight is just thinking of the challenge. Some of you have been on a couple of these challenges, and some of you are new. But as you have done the challenges, and you start to see a new, healthier self, and you kind of get excited about it, what would be the thing that you could say that the changes that you have felt that you've been excited about? That's the first thing. So what have you liked that that you hadn't been doing before, whether it was sleep or something else, or whether you're just feeling like you're more in control? I don't know what, but what would you say excites you? And have any of your associates noticed a difference in you? And no matter what it is, maybe it's weight, maybe it's alertness, more, maybe you're happier. Anyway, anybody want to share?
My sister said that I looked like I'd lost some weight.
Really?
So just happy about that because I haven't really lost much by the scale, but maybe it shows up somehow. I don't see it.
Yeah, and maybe it's there's something in your demeanor that you're maybe more in control of things or something. I don't know.
It'd be nice to think that.
Yeah. Anybody else? Peggy, what about you?
I think I'm just feeling, I don't think anything has really changed. Can you hear me?
Uh-huh.
But I'm feeling like I'm getting that back, the control that I lost last year while I was recuperating from my ankle.
Yeah.
So it's just getting that control back that I had the previous year when I was doing so well.
Uh-huh. Yeah, that's great. How about you,
Yeah.
Kathy? Anything you can think of? Oh, Kathy, you're muted. Let me fix you. Unmute. Whoops. Kathy, oops. There you go.
I missed the question.
Oh, the question was just, have you noticed changes in yourself as you've been on these challenges that you're liking, or that maybe even somebody's noticed, your kids or Jed or somebody, that it's pretty exciting to you?
Well, I think what I felt is kind of little things, but I think more and more from the readings and just kind of over and over again getting the repetition, I think you really start to see how important it is that you drink water, how important it is that you exercise, how important it is that you sleep. And I think that, you understand that all those things you really need to commit to because they really do make a difference.
Yeah. Very true.
And I think just generally, you just work on those things. And I think I've kind of recommitted as far as exercise and a lot of things that I knew that I should have been doing that I kind of let slide.
Yeah, that's great. Anybody else want to share? Anthony, you noticed anything, or Anna, or Barb?
I think overall, not just, if I could, Barb, real quick, overall is with the habits of health and the different things we've been trying, the consistency is good. And so doing them all together is really helpful. I think getting 7 hours of sleep tonight will be great, but unless I do it tomorrow and the next day and the next day, it's kind of like the food thing. I can sleep in a little once in a while, but I really do like staying on the 7 hours all the time, even on a Saturday, on a Sunday. It just helps me stay up. So.
Yeah, there's really something to be said about consistency. Yeah. What do you think, Barb?
I don't know that much weight, but I've lost a lot of inches. And that's probably because I work out just about every day for an hour. So, but I feel that I have some meds, so that's what's important. I want to get rid of those meds. I don't want to be on them the rest of my life. So.
The meds, yeah, no kidding. That's great. So here's a question now. Does everybody love my questions? So the next one is, so you see people who are your friends and you care about them, and you want to tell them, even if it's about the games or about, just being healthy. How do you talk to somebody without making it sound like you think they're unhealthy? Good question, huh? I've been thinking about this one. Is how do you approach somebody that you love to help you, to know how to help them? Because once you have it and once you start to feel better and better, don't you want to share it?
But they'll see that in you.
Yeah.
I think they know very well they're unhealthy.
Yeah.
They know every time they see you that if you're looking better, they're not, that they're still unhealthy. But I think if they're watching you and what you're doing, and a lot of times they'll follow through and just decide they want to do what you're doing.
Or just ask you, because, like for me, the balancing of the carbs and proteins, that's so magical. I don't care if they're on our program or not. I just want to tell people about that because it gives you energy and makes you feel good. And, anyway, I wondered how you guys deal with it. I mean, you on these surveys, sometimes they talk to you about becoming a coach and all this stuff. But I liked one of them where one of the questions was just, do you something like, do you want to share this with your friends? And I really like that because once you find something that works well for you, that you do. And what David and I were talking about this morning was the idea of becoming a force for good and a force for improving the health of America. I mean, it sounds huge, but I don't know. What were you? Oh, you, Ed.
Well, we went to visit my sister in the hospital, and she is somebody that tries very hard to be healthy. So I'm not using her as a bad example. But as we walked into the place, I said to Claudia, okay, and she mentioned to you that I invited somebody over for dinner.
Oh,
right?
Tell them the story. It's great.
Oh no, it's too long.
Okay.
But this new neighbor that I met yesterday, he drove past me 3 times in a white Corvette convertible. So how are you going to go not meet him, right? And in the process of things, I found out that he was living alone for a while, waiting for his wife and baby to join him. He started a new job a while ago. So I just had to invite him over, right? And I must say that when he stepped out of his Corvette convertible yesterday, I was taken aback. I mean, he was this gorgeous man, shall we say, that in perfect shape. And I thought, as we were walking through the hospital today, I said, well, when you meet Michael tonight, he won't look like any of the people that we're passing as we walk through this hospital today. I said, just an experiment, and of course I didn't know who we were going to pass as we walked by, whether they were patients or doctors or visitors like we were. But I was pretty sure, based on the experience of my life, that those people would just not be in the best of shape. It's kind of how life is.
Everybody is.
You know, when the statistics say that 2/3 of us adults are overweight and more in the country, then that's kind of how it goes. And that's just talking about body size, not that you're in physical conditioning or anything of the sort. So and it was kind of true. Did we see anybody?
No, everybody was just normal, like Peggy was talking about, being normal. The norm is unhealthy.
Yeah. Some other thing that Claudia and I have done, and this is totally off topic maybe, but to me it's really not. We've taken to, a friend of mine said, oh, you know, I started watching Alfred Hitchcock Presents reruns. And I thought, whoa, when did I last think of Alfred Hitchcock Presents? And so we've gotten a little bit of addiction going on to these 25-minute movies, you know.
Don't forget to tell them they're so weird that we have to follow up with Andy of Mayberry. So
that we don't go to bed and have nightmares, you know, because some of them are a little bit, whoa, and it scares you a little bit. But the point is that they were created in 1955, which I might say 2 of us sitting in this room were born that very same year, you know, just as a hint.
What year was that?
55.
55. But all of those actors and actresses, except for Alfred Hitchcock himself, because he was a big chap, but everybody else is, I mean, the guys have size 30 waists and, you know, just as trim as can be. And what happened to us along the way? I just look at those old reruns and I think, wow, wouldn't it be sweet? And they were just normal guys. They weren't trying to be beautiful guys. They were just...
Wasn't that the year of the first McDonald's, too?
Mm-hmm. Yes, it was.
So, corruption. No,
whether we should be proud of that or not, I don't know. Anyway, so that's a curious kind of rambling.
Yeah.
I started by talking about all of the people that weren't in the best of condition in the hospital. And then Alfred Hitchcock, and there you go.
But yeah, so the idea is just that we know. Now we know. Now we have the knowledge that we can get healthy. And so hopefully we'll use our sphere of influence and help others. You know, our own, like for Anna and Anthony, who are raising, Anna doesn't have any children yet, but Anthony's got 4 little girls. And to raise them to be healthy little eaters. And already his wife cooked some awesome
zucchini pizza.
Yeah.
I want some.
So yeah, I mean, you know, there's a way to be healthy, and if you just kind of pay attention, and I love what you said, Barb. Example is a huge deal, and just
Guys,
say it again.
We did a lot more active things outside when we were younger than they do now. Everything now is a computer TV and everything, and I remember when we got our first little black and white TV, the little square box that you could watch it after the cows were milked and everything was fed at night. There was like 2 stations or 3 stations. That was, you know, you went on Sundays. You did other stuff. You never just stayed home or went. We did stuff. We were always moving. And I and people were thinner, and we didn't have the junk food yet because we just didn't have it. Mom and Dad we were on the farm, and you had meat, potatoes, and vegetables, and cake, and whatever every day, but you worked it off too.
Yeah. You guys got to know about Barb. She swims every day. She plays volleyball. She's got a big place behind her. She went walking with her dogs for an hour and the grandkids the other day. She's very, very active.
And I'm fat. And I'll be 69 this month.
You're what? No, you're great. Anyway, anybody have any questions or anything they want to share or say or do or be or whatever?
Or B?
B, yeah.
I kind of have a little question that I'd love feedback from. So a lot of my friends and people around my age they're not necessarily super unhealthy. So when I try to approach them and talk about this program or talk about joining the Healthy Games, their response is always, "Oh, I'm okay. I'm fine. I'm in good enough shape." And so I try to talk to them like this teaches you healthy habits, not just dieting. It just throughout your entire life, every little action you do contributes to your well-being physically and mentally. And so I kind of have a hard time finding a way to go about that, really getting through that block they have that they don't need this.
Huh. That's a very good question. Anybody have any response for her?
They're not going to change until they're ready. And now, if you being content and doing so well, won't be long, and they'll join you.
Yeah, that's right. You know, and I was just thinking too, I think that, I don't know if you guys think this when you're way young, but I did. I looked at my mom and I looked at my sisters. I looked at and tried to look at what I was going, where the direction I was headed. And my mom, loved her to death, but she was a little overweight. And then the sister that I related most to, she was overweight. So I started worrying about this kind of a little bit young, thinking, wow, is that what I'm going to end up like, you know? So, but maybe, you know, when you're young, we're very invincible, and it's true. It's what Barb says. They'll have the desire. Your friends are probably starting to have babies and stuff like that when they can't get that last weight off, and they can't fit into their clothes. Suddenly, their desire changes.
Then they'll come to me.
Yeah. Because it is, that's what I wish. I don't know about the rest of you guys, or not you and Larry and Anthony, but man, I wish I would have been able to take that baby weight off. Wow. I just,
one of my sons-in-law, anyway, one of the guys married to one of my daughters. He's a doctor now, but a year or so ago, I remember he was off doing something he was away from his family and would send pictures and things back from where he was. And he had said something about he liked brownies. He made brownies in a pan on the stove because he didn't have an oven where he was, a little apartment sort of thing. And he said, I only ate 2 because I don't want to develop a habit that will cause me trouble when my metabolism slows down years from now.
Wow.
He's very, very conscious of what you do now carries into the future. And I was impressed with the attitude. If I'd had that attitude when I was his age, I would not look the way I do now. I would have avoided some of that stuff. I went to work for a dairy in 1980, and I had way too easy access to all of the dairy things that it was a supply of home delivery stuff. So we had, I could buy cheese. If it got a little spot of mold on it, I could buy a whole 14-pound Longhorn of Wisconsin cheddar for $7.
Oh boy.
And we ate lots of cheese, and we ate lots of yogurt and had all that sort of stuff really cheap. And I, in 2 years, I put on probably 30 to 35 pounds
Wow.
within 2 years. And I've never gotten rid of it.
Wow.
Yes.
We have babies and you have cheese.
Isn't there an I Love Lucy episode about that? Oh, certainly you've seen that. Yes.
Cheese, what was it?
She carries a block of cheese onto the airplane and pretending it's her baby. So,
That's right.
so see, there's a TV show for everything.
You guys
Oh,
are
that's so
great.
odd.
Well, one more week after this one, you guys, and then, hey, there'll be April games too, so away we go. It sure is great to have all of you on our team. This is just a lot of fun.
It is fun.
So,
You're doing awesome, guys.
hey, well,
Keep
thanks
going.
for,
Yeah, thank you.
oh, yeah, thanks for jumping on tonight, you guys, and we will be seeing you on the wall. Keep up your posting. It's so encouraging to
Thank
everyone.
you.
And all the kind comments to each other. That's what the team's all about. So thanks a lot, you guys.
Carry on.
Thank you.
All right.
Thank
see
you.
See ya.
Okay.
Bye.
Bye.